Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Place in the Middle podcast. My name is Amy.
And I'm Butter, and today we're going to talk about our freelance lifestyle, basically
Yes.
the ups and downs of being a freelancer. Though we're
Yeah.
not, I wouldn't say like mine is the typical freelancer.
Me either.
Yeah, and so like the best way to explain it to, I think, um, to people who are not in like the missions circle is freelancing. Because I had a really hard time explaining this to the bank the other when I was asking for like a house loan, and they're
Right.
like, what do you do? And I'm like, it's hard to explain. I'm not really a freelancer, but I'm like full, but you can't say missionary. That doesn't, they won't know what that is.
Th- You would have to explain a lot more.
So
Yeah.
I did, and I got declined on that page
Dang, girl.
because they don't
Yeah.
get it and they don't understand like how it works. So basically, if I mean bare bones is just I'm like full-time ministry, so I fundraise my own salary, and so then I could do like whatever ministry I'm passionate about, which is about mental health. And
Right.
so I create resources for people,
Mm-hmm.
for Thai
Oh,
people in this way. Right now, just like creating books and
writing. Yep.
writing books. Yeah, I
Publishing
just
books. Yeah.
published books. And so but hopefully in the future more things,
Right.
but we'll just call it freelancing because
Love
the
it.
schedule is not like normal 8 to 5 type of job.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Amy, yours.
I was like, your turn to talk. I need to
You
be
go.
quiet now. Um, for me, I don't have a typical freelance job. Okay. So I'm mainly doing two like main I can't explain it because
Hmm.
okay, it's recently just like I just filed my taxes and it was so confusing. This is like I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyways, um so I work full time as a ballet teacher. I teach dance.
Hmm.
But it's not a full time job as in like I have to be at school from like 7 to 3, 7
Right.
or 8 to 5 or whatever. Because since ballet is not like it's not a full time program here, and it's only like an extracurricular, so I only go teach in the evening or in
Hmm.
the afternoon on the weekdays, and on the weekend it's full for me.
Yeah.
But on the side of that, when I'm not at work, I work as a translator, and
Hmm.
that's a freelance.
Yep.
Like that's definitely a freelance because I work with a company that I've never seen anybody's faces.
Hmm.
Yeah, and honestly, I love it because they're kind of like an agency that would find like a job for you, so I don't have to go out there to like hunt for the
Right.
job for myself, and I would um translate whatever they I'm available for and send them. For example, but the thing is, with those two jobs, sometimes I have to juggle it a little bit
Hmm.
because sometimes they're like, hey, can you submit it at like 5 p.m. and I'm like, if you don't give it to me by the time I before I leave my house, it's over. Like I
Yeah.
can't do that, you know?
Right.
So it's a little bit of a juggling between the two jobs that I have. One kind of like a semi full time and the other
Hmm.
one is a freelance.
Hmm.
But I honestly really enjoy both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good. Like, I think the perks of doing like freelancing type of job is
Mm-hmm.
you can set up kind of your own time to do it. Like for me, I maybe not a morning person, slower in the mornings,
Mm-hmm. Me too.
but in the evenings, like I'm awake and alert, then I can do more. Or like in the afternoon, I kind of like, okay, I could do this now. Then depending on what I'm working on, like I would set up my own schedule,
Right. Yeah.
which is nice. And it depends on the day. Like if something happens like there's something going on like Monday, there's a like morning like or evening, then Monday morning I could do it. Like it's very flexible in terms of time.
Right.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just
I
but
think that's like one of the biggest perks of being a freelance because you're literally your own boss
yeah.
and um you get to choose the time you want to work on things and
Yeah.
like how fast you want to work on it. And I think it's not only the working time, but it's also how you spend your free time.
Mhm.
Like, for example, um, you can literally just travel and still work.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's one of the best part because like I know that I remember being in school
Mhm.
and I wasn't like my parents didn't travel. Like
Mhm.
nowadays, okay, there's this one trend where I've been seeing that parents would like just take their kids on vacation
Right.
during the school year,
Uh-huh.
like during when school was in session. And I was like, that was never reality for me in our generation.
Right.
Because nowadays it's normal. They're
Oh.
like peace out. And I'm like, but honestly, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because I'm like, the parents, children's schedule should match with the parents and not the other way around. It's kind of like because parents they work, right?
Yeah.
In the low season of business, might as well just leave.
But don't they miss like the school stuff though? Like, are they
Yeah,
behind?
they don't care.
Interesting.
They're like they get experiences like and learning experiences like outside of school as well. So I think like parents nowadays they kind of value that
Yeah.
and they would just like take the kids on leave.
Interesting.
Not everybody, but
Right,
like
right, right.
I've seen
There's
more of
some.
that nowadays. Yeah.
Interesting. So I think the other part about it is though people who do freelancing have to have a high level of responsibility, like a sense of responsibility and like duty of like, if there's no boss who's on top of me every day, can I still get the job done with like a good like amount of time?
Yeah.
Not like, all right, so like I feel like with my books, like I had to set deadlines for myself to
Uh-huh.
where I'm like, we're not gonna go too long with this.
Hmm.
Like we need to see the product in sight and like we gotta keep moving forward. Like I have people who like are supporting me who I said like, hey, I'm doing this and like I really need to show like
Yeah.
I am responsible enough to get that done in a good amount of time.
Yeah. And I think like you 'cause, I mean I've known you for a long time. So I know that you're a very self-driven person. So
Mhm.
Butter is the type of person that like when she got homework, she would finish that essay in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like you would just need to get rid of it like out of your plate.
Right.
But honestly, that's not a reality for me. I'm actually a procrastinator.
Uh-huh.
So for me, like having my kind of job is perfect for me.
Uh-huh.
When I teach, what time I have to be there, I know what time I have to be there. I know what time I have to leave.
Yeah.
In the timing part, I'm very responsible to like be there on time. I'm never late for like work.
Yeah.
But in terms of translation, the reason why I work with a company is because they set a deadline
Mm-hmm.
and I have to match that.
Right.
Or
Like
else they're gonna be bugging me already. They're like,
right.
hey, where is it?
Yeah, like you have somebody who's like on top of you
Exactly.
but still freelance. It's still freelancing.
I can still deny that like the task they give me.
Yeah.
Like then I don't I don't get paid for it. Cause yeah, but I think that's kind of like why it works for me so well
Mm-hmm.
that it's kind of like a freelance, but also it kind of keep me accountable as well. To like,
Exactly.
hey, you need to get this done. And I love that. And I'm not even like mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love when people kind of like tell me, like, honestly, I feel like in my life, I need a personal assistant to tell me when things need to
Like
be
you
done.
need to do this now.
Exactly.
Which I don't mind having those because like if usually there is like there is a level of freedom that you
Mhm.
have, but then there's like a little bit of like checkup. Like
I
you
love
have a
that,
deadline
yeah.
here, but
Mhm.
they're not going to check on you every day. They're not going to be like hovering like helicopter parenting.
Exactly.
They're going to be hands off, but they're going to tell you this is the limit, like this is the deadline. And
Yeah.
I'm okay with those kind of things.
Me too.
But I will set up my own deadlines
Mhm.
because I don't like last minute. I can't I can't.
Yeah.
Actually, I would feel so like
Anxious?
anxious
I get it.
if I'm waiting to the deadline to submit. Like usually if people give me something, I know I could do it like in the next like, couple hours.
Yeah.
But sometimes I would have to wait till the deadline because people then have the expectation
that you can get it done.
that you can get
fast.
done way early. And
Yeah.
so then they start to like take advantage of you of like, then why isn't it done? Like faster.
That's what I do with my translation work as well. I would like they would send me like a what is it called, a task,
Mhm.
and then I kind of know that this client would definitely like confirm this job,
Mhm.
so I would do it first.
Uh-huh.
But if I get it done early,
Uh-huh.
I actually on the email you can actually schedule send the email.
Yeah.
So what I would actually schedule send like an hour before, a few minutes before the deadline.
Oh.
Because I'm like, I don't want to spoil them
Right,
as well.
right.
To like, I know I get things done fast. But
Yeah.
I think like so far with my company that I work with, they're quite okay with that. Even if I submit it like early,
Uh-huh.
they're not gonna demand it the next time. I'm
More.
like, thank goodness.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
That people have boundaries in that.
exactly.
Or else like I had a hard time when I was working like a like 8 to 5 type of job of just like how is it that like I'm like if people finish their task then it doesn't matter how much time they like need to be there
Yeah,
as long as they do their job.
exactly.
But I think sometimes there's other types of people who is like, well, then there's still some other things you could do. You could make your you like this is the amount of time you have to be here. Find some other things you have to do.
Hmm.
Like, is it in your job description to do those things, or like you're just asking for more outside of that?
Yeah,
You know
so
what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying because like that has I think that has been a thing in like
Mhm.
a 9 to 5 in a
Yeah,
big company that you have to be there the whole day.
yeah,
And I've seen some TikToks where people are like they're doing their job,
yeah,
but they're only doing what they're paid for.
yeah.
Which is honestly like I feel that because I'm like there are so many instances where when you get things done fast, you get more stuff.
Exactly.
And they're going to keep giving you stuff and they're going to keep pushing you limit.
Yeah.
And if you don't set that boundaries, they're going to keep like getting into your
Right.
boundaries.
And if you get paid a monthly salary, no matter how much like basic you do and how much more you do, you get paid the same.
Exactly. I mean, of course there has to be at one point that you have to like
Yeah.
one goal that you have to reach.
Right.
But at the same time, like if you're asking the person to work more than their like job description and what they're paid for, I'm like that honestly that for me that's not really okay.
Me neither. I feel like then you're taking advantage of them.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
then there's sometimes where they like twist the story and be like, well, we're all just helping each other.
I don't like that word at
Especially
all.
in Christian settings. Like I can only speak into those things because like, well, we're all like
We're just like, can you help up like a sister and a brother?
yeah. I
That's
hate it when it's
for
used in like a work setting.
because for me that's spiritual manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
when you start like pushing Bible verses at me as well,
Right.
like I know, girl, like I know, like you're just trying to get me to do like manipulate me to do things that you want me to get done.
Exactly.
And I'm like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, where's where's the integrity? Where's the honor? It's
Mhm.
all out the window.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
And so that's why it's so hard for me, like in those kind of things. I'm like, don't be pushing this like Christian aspect
Yeah.
when it comes time to things like setting healthy boundaries in a workplace or
Yeah.
like just doing your job description or instead of being like, well, we're all just trying to help each other in here. So why aren't you? And then it's like
Yeah.
guilt tripping you
Yeah.
to be like,
Like,
why won't you help?
but honestly, like now that we're getting into like Christianity,
Mhm.
for me, I think Jesus set a really good example of having boundaries. Because think about it, he has his own disciples.
Mhm.
That is his inner circle.
Mhm.
He would always share with them first. And I'm like, there are so many people that are following him, like thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
But Jesus did not spend one-on-one time with those people because he knows where his boundary is.
Mm.
It's the same thing with
Yeah.
like boundaries where if you don't create your own boundaries, people are always going to push it.
Yep.
People are going to try to get it their way.
Yep.
And I think that's when I start learning how to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, I can't keep going like
Right.
this.
Like I'm losing myself and I'm going to start hating you too. Like
And-
that's how I feel about
exactly. And I would start hating myself as well. I'm not
Mhm.
going to lie. It's like, it's really hard for me in the beginning to say no because I feel like I always have to please
it. Me
people
too. Yeah.
to actually get acceptance from them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm okay with like you to not accept me.
Yes.
Honestly, at the end of the day, I'm like, sometimes some people are not as important. You're just literally a blip in my timeline.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
It sounds very selfish, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't cut my legs off
Mhm.
for you to be able to walk.
Right.
Yeah. Or else I'm losing all my limbs already.
Exactly. And that's the thing of it. It's like I can only like I used to be such a people pleaser, couldn't say no.
Mhm, mhm.
Because it was like my identity was in it and it's like that's where my worth is until I can start saying no and I feel so horrible having to
Me
say
too.
no. It's killing me to say no to people.
Exactly.
But because it makes me it turns me into a person I don't like when I say yes. And I start resenting you for not knowing like how to kind of like เกรงใจ or like this is my limit. Why don't you see that? It's like
yeah.
to the point where I'm like, no, you have to say no and deal with the uncomfortableness of like having to stick to your boundaries and actually
Yeah.
sticking to it. Because then I learned to like, okay, I learned to love myself like a little bit more or like care for myself of my
Mm-hmm.
boundaries.
It's like a progress.
Yes, like this is progress for me. Like for me to say no, and I'm suffering for having
Yeah.
to say no to you
Yeah.
because but I realized once you get to a certain point where you're like, I'm just so angry that they would ask of you again. I know like that's not healthy for me. Then I said it and then I realized if I said it and the other person gets upset with me or manipulates or turns it into like, why aren't you helping me? Like, if this is, or whatever reason that should not make sense. Um, I don't need those people in my life.
Yeah.
Do you know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying? Like,
I guess like that's the thing with freelancing. It's
mm,
kind of like I think you can create that boundaries, but like
yeah,
think about people with like a 9 to 5 or like work with like a how you have a contract with a
yeah,
like, company or whatever. Like I feel like you can't always say that, and
hmm,
it's hard to actually set that boundaries once they already broke it and you don't have that in the first place.
right. Here's my thing though. Okay, so what I'm talking about for mine is free work, free help, favors, because that's what I get a lot of. It's just like, oh, to me, I needed people from bad experience before is more of like they just ask for favors, ask for favors. And I'm thinking,
Yeah,
since we're friends to a level, yeah, sure, I'll help you. Until it hits a certain point where you're just like, wait a second, like, are we actually friends or are you just using me for what I can give
I
you?
totally get it.
And that's totally different from like in a workplace where if that is harder, right? Like you maybe on a payroll or whatever, and of course, like if it's in your job description, you need to do it.
Exactly. You need to
You need
deliver.
to deliver,
Yeah.
yes. But like in these cases, the ones that I see, it would be like I was so hurt, I think, by like because I didn't know how to set boundaries for myself. And I believe the best in people that, oh,
Yeah.
if you're my friend, of course I'd help you. And then to be taken advantage of, then I get more of like, I'm more careful, but I can never like stop helping the people that I care about. Like it's just
I totally get it.
it's in my nature.
And
Like to not do it would feel way worse than to do it. But I hope that you would know like where the limit should be. And some people really don't know, honestly don't know, and they're not having mean intentions. But I had to set those boundaries with good friends because
I totally get it.
they
Yeah.
don't they don't know where your limits are because I never
Yeah.
shared it kind of thing
Yeah.
too.
And I have this instance of like because I'm a translator,
Mm.
people would ask me, "Hey, can you translate this?"
Ah,
And I'm
no.
like, you do realize, like, for me, if I say yes to those things, I'm
Yes.
devaluing myself and
Right.
my ability and the like the belief in myself,
Right.
where is my talents are disposable.
Right.
And I don't like that because I'm like, hey, I'm honoring what God gave me and
Mm.
I need to steward it really, really well.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is, it doesn't mean that I'm charging them more. I'm the thing is, this is what I do. Sometimes when I realize that there are so many translations that need to be made
Yeah.
correctly
Yeah.
and that flows with the actual language. Um, I would take up like a job. I would actually give them my rate, and
Uh-huh.
if they're okay with that, I would do it.
Uh-huh.
And I actually give people in ministry a discount.
Uh-huh.
And the
Yes.
thing is, I feel like because of that honor of them giving me of like, hey, I know that you like we're both in ministry,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean I'm gonna take advantage of you. I'm gonna honor what is your talent as well.
Exactly.
And like I felt so honored by people that does that, even though
Yeah.
like I know they don't have much,
Yeah.
but like they realize like they it is something that they would invest in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, because of that, I also want to invest in your ministry by giving you this discount as
Right.
well. And
Right.
I'm like, for me, yeah, it's kind of like money is not a big thing, but you have to understand that just because that sentence is very like vague, because if you don't have anything, that's very hard as well.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, like money there is an importance, but you can't just like just hold on to it too tight.
Here's the other thing though that I found out, even in like um that okay, because that really bothered me.
Mm.
Because when I feel like there's a like we have skills that we earned, like that we learn too, and that we have in our toolbox kind of thing.
Yep.
When people come, they think like, oh, but I'm in ministry, so how much can like can I get it for free?
Yeah.
And it's first time I'm like, why does that automatically get you stuff for free? just because you're
It's
in ministry.
exactly. It's not like a free pass.
You would never get, yeah, it's not a free pass for anything. Like,
Yeah.
and like the fact that like then I have to feel like, oh, I need to give her you free makes me so angry of like,
Yeah.
what's my time worth? Like we do, and then like when we, so then, because I used to do like graphic design things like that. They're like, okay, like how so they're like, can you do this? Like, yeah, and this is how much we charge, and you can use how many edits. Like
Right.
when we're,
Exactly.
they
Just
stop
set that
talking.
boundaries as
It's
well.
just like they stop talking, and it's just like, what were you
Yeah.
expecting? Like
But
literally, like free? Like is that what it is? It's just like since we're all in ministry, or like since you're in ministry, you get to have free passes to people's
yeah, it
skills.
doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work like that way. It doesn't feel good for the other person to, for you to reach out to them and do that to them. The thing is, to be honest, money, though it's not like our entire world, you need to raise enough money if you need help from someone else. If you're
Exactly.
not going to, if you're not gonna have like, if you raise enough just for your family, don't ask for other people's like to help you for free when they have skills that
Yeah, and like the thing
are
is,
worth paying for.
we took our time to learn those skills. It's
Yeah.
not something that is free as
Mm-hmm.
well, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that but I honestly feel like I don't know, at least people in my circle,
Mm-hmm.
the way that they're seeing ministry is changing as well. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, it has to. Like, I don't think it should be this way.
Right.
And
Me
it
too.
could be so much better. That's the thing.
Mhm.
Like, I accept the fact that like it hasn't always been perfect. It's
Right.
not going to,
Yeah.
and we're
But it
just
could be better.
we're just trying to get better, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, and I really honor those people that are putting their efforts to actually change that game for
Right.
everybody. Yeah,
Like even though I mean, yes, it's more expensive, obviously, because now you have to pay for it. But that should have been the case since the very beginning.
yeah.
All right. What are other perks or downsides to freelancing?
Um, let's see. I mean, since we're talking about ministry, I feel like because of my freelance work and my semi full-time job,
Yeah.
I could also like get into ministry as well.
Like do something else outside.
Exactly. I'm
Because you're
like,
not doing 9 to 5.
yeah, and um you can actually plan your own schedule.
Mm.
Like I think in terms of like my health as well,
Mm-hmm.
it's not only mental, but it's also like physically where I can actually work out at the
Mm.
time that I desire. Like
Me
girl,
too.
think
Yes.
about like working 9 to 5 and you had to wake out at like the crack of dawn.
Yep. Or you wait till afterwards and you're so tired.
Girl, I don't know, like my boyfriend works out after work
Mm-hmm.
and he like I think it's there is like a sense of release for him.
Yeah.
But for me after work, all I want to do is just like lay down
Me too.
and just sit and like sometimes I would bake. And it's kind of like things that are kind of winding myself down
Yeah.
to get ready for sleep.
Mhm.
Girl, I get ready like I have a whole wind down thing where like I'm very nice and quiet since
Yeah.
like 7. I'm
Uh-huh.
not gonna lie. Yeah.
Yeah. So like time is so nice for freelancing because I can go to like work out in the middle of the day where there's nobody at the gym.
Exactly.
And that's so nice for me because it's like quiet and we're not trying to all get on the treadmill at the same time and like fight it out with people,
Mhm.
kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the benefit of doing
Yeah.
freelancing.
I think one of the downsides for me is like I said, like you have to be very highly responsible.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Like if you know that like you can manage your time and your like responsibility well,
Self-motivated person.
you have to be that way. It's
Yep.
kind of like I know some of my friends that got into freelance and it didn't work for them because they're just waiting around to
Mhm.
not get things done. And I'm like, hey, it doesn't work that way.
Yep. You have to
Like-
push yourself.
Exactly. Even though I'm a procrastinator, but I know that like at a certain point I can't do this.
Mhm.
Like I have to like get up
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah.
It actually taught me to like not procrastinate, to be honest. Even though like
Uh-huh.
at my nature I would love to procrastinate and like
Yeah.
sleep in, but it doesn't happen that way.
No,
Yeah.
it's like you become even more responsible because there's nobody to rely on. You are your soul. Like
Exactly.
this is your product,
Exactly.
and you will take responsibility for it if it comes
Yeah.
out good or bad.
And I feel like you had to take ownership of that too.
Yes.
Like you can't start with I think freelancing is also like it benefits a lot of people because it's teaching them
Mm.
their like honestly just life lessons.
Right.
Kind of like, hey, you have to take ownership of this. If you don't finish it, hey, it's on you.
Right.
Like it's
Nobody
your
else is going to. Yeah.
exactly. It's your responsibility and you can't blame other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy to do that in like a 9 to 5. Not saying that 9 to 5 is like horrible.
Right.
There's like very nice
Good
perks
ones.
into
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I think okay, one more freelance thing
Mhm.
that is on the downside is that um you know how people in the company would have insurance and like
And I was
social
just thinking,
security?
yep,
Yeah.
you don't get that.
We don't get that.
Yep.
Like, you have to be self-funded
Yep.
for your social security. I mean, we call it social security here, but I don't know what it is in the States. Because social security there and here is different.
Right.
Here is like ประกันสังคม
Yep.
you know?
The perks of like if you need to go to the hospital, like how the benefits that you
Yeah.
have. Usually companies, if they hire you, they would provide you with that or take a cut from your paycheck.
Exactly.
And
Like,
freelancing, your paychecks are not guaranteed.
it's not. And
Every
it's,
month is different.
I think it's very
Sometimes.
difficult. For example, loans they were
Yeah.
talking about. Another thing that is very, very like is more difficult is visas. Because the thing is, once you
Right.
interview for visas, I have a friend recently that
Uh-huh.
just interviewed for the Schengen,
Oh.
and they work freelancing.
Oh.
They literally have to provide a description of what they do
Oh.
to actually prove that they have enough funds to actually like go and come back.
Yeah.
Because they don't want you to like
Stay there.
exactly.
Yeah, like that you ran out of money while you were there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they want to see proof of that. And when you freelance, you don't get that. I mean, you can,
It's
but it's
harder.
still harder.
It's
Even
harder.
like house loans are harder because
Yeah,
where's the proof that like you're getting a stable income for the last 2 years?
exactly. Yeah.
Not only that, like it's a little bit more lonely too. You are in charge of your own schedule. If you're tired today, there's nobody who's gonna come in and be like pick you up and be like, "Hey, should we go get coffee?"
Yeah. Or nobody is gonna help you with the job.
Yeah, you have to do every step on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
like
there's no such thing as taking a leave.
Yep. It's almost like you have to work longer hours because this is your project. Like you would spend more time on it. There's nobody else to count on. Like you can't the product, how good or bad it is up to you.
Yeah.
And like every part of it, even like with my book thing, like from idea to publishing, and that's not even the end. Publishing is just the beginning. Then we need to do marketing. And I'm learning all these ways of like, okay, well, which way should I market these books and like how much like I need to create Facebook pages or whatever, and how do they link to each other? Very exhausting.
You had to figure that out, like, okay, not by yourself, but you also have to like there's nobody is gonna like sit and teach you in a seminar.
Yeah.
I mean
You
you,
need to
could
go learn it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's all learning. Like I'm learning it, and then like people ask me like, well, like how's it going? I'm like, I'm tired. Like all the steps is a roadblock because I've never done it before.
Mhm.
And so but I have to learn it by myself. Nobody knows what I'm going through because I'm in my circle because they're not doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I would have to figure it out as I go.
Yeah. It's quite a lonely journey, but I feel
Mhm.
like, and especially if like your group of friends are all 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think only like one or two
Mhm.
of our friends are
I
like
will
that.
say that the downside of it is that your paychecks may not be the same every month and you can't really count on it
Yeah.
because it's freelancing. But I would say that sometimes leaving the 9 to 5 and going to freelancing, you're making more than you would do a nine to five.
For me, it works for me because I can work at my own time, definitely. For example, like I
Mhm.
have a translation job like that is due like this morning.
Yeah.
I told you about it. But the thing is, the client never what is it called? Confirmed the job
Oh.
until this morning. But the thing is,
Oh.
I kind of knew this client,
Uh-huh.
so I know that the job's gonna be definitely confirmed. So I actually worked on it last night. After I finished my whole day, like it was late,
Yeah.
and yesterday it was late. But for me, it works the best that way.
Right.
Like that's the thing. Like with the freelance, you just have to match the deadline. It doesn't matter how you work. So sometimes for people that need that like a cutoff for like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
done working and I'm gonna spend my personal time.
Yeah. There's not really that.
We don't really have that. It's kind of like,
No.
I mean, you could honestly,
You could if you wanted to.
but it kind of filters out the job that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think if you're okay with like, because for me it is nothing at all.
Right.
I'm just working on another translation that is like I'm quite used to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work at it at night. And the thing is, sometimes once it's kind of like there's this one term in